It's a sticky spot we find ourselves in coming into this FA Cup matchup against Brighton away from home. Chelsea are without any strikers, so we're going to have to make do with what we've got. No Mark Guiu, no Nicholas Jackson. You would have hoped, you would have prayed that after Jackson went off injured, that Mark Guiu would have been the man to step up, and he was momentarily until he injured himself and is now out for the foreseeable, if not definitely longer now than Nicholas Jackson. Over a month, apparently, is what we're being told. And we're just going to have to wait and see what happens with him. Before we begin, please do like the video, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified of any future content on the channel. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, it is time that we faced Brighton for the first time in the space of, I think it's literally a couple of days, maybe a week. So we're playing on the 8th, and then we have to play them next Friday at their stadium, the Amex, I think it's still called. 2 away games to them on the bounce. Can we get a win in both? It would be nice. It would be very nice indeed. But more importantly, can we somehow muster up an FA Cup run? Because the fact of the matter is, this is not going to be an easy game, albeit, you know, Brighton aren't, at least I don't think they are, doing too well at the moment. If we look at the table, obviously this isn't a Premier League game. 10th, 34 points. They're only 9 points behind us. So, they're hardly doing terrible. But all the same, I think they have been on a bit of a bad run at the moment. Lost to Everton, then lost 7-0 to Nottingham Forest more recently. It is better time than ever for Chelsea to get a move into to the next round of the FA Cup against a very, very tired and defeated Brighton and Hove Albion. Before then, home record for them is pretty diabolical, to be completely honest with you. They are without a win in all competitions at home in at least the last 5 games, with their most recent win at home coming back in November against Manchester City. They've lost to Liverpool. They beat Tottenham and somehow drew 2-2 earlier on in the season to Nottingham Forest before obviously getting beaten 7-0. Coming into this game, Chelsea, on the other hand, we've got, once again, a bit of a rainbow sort of going on at the moment. We're 5-0 against Morecambe 5 games ago. Obviously, the most recent FA Cup game that we've played. An easy game, all things considered. 2-2 against Bournemouth, or 3-1 against Wolves. 3-1 loss to Man City, and then most recently a 2-1 win against West Ham. Away from home, it's a whole different picture because, 1 win in our last 5. Can you guess who that was against? Astana is who it was against. Since then, we have scored just 2 goals in our last 4 games, drawing to Everton and Crystal Palace and losing to Ipswich Town and Manchester City. We are yet to win away from home in the year 2025. The situation regarding strikers, it really doesn't bode very well for us. I would like to suggest that we do still go in with a look at the starting 11, the predicted 11. Let me just get my camera up. There we go. This is the starting 11 that faced West Ham the other day. I really don't see too much of a change happening. Obviously, I don't, from what we know, Jackson didn't train, so I can imagine he won't start. And I do genuinely believe that we're going to have Nkunku from the start, and that's not really a bold prediction. It's pretty much all we've got at this point. Elsewhere, we might see KDH play. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him feature at some point. I could see Colwill being dropped, and maybe, just maybe, Chalobah comes in. There's murmurs, is there, of Badiashile being back soon? But again, I still think Tosin and Chalobah start in this game. We don't really have any left backs to fill in for Cucurella, so it was most likelihood, the largest likelihood is that Cucurella starts against his former side once again with Renato Vega and of course Ben Chilwell both now leaving the club. Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, I think. I just think we need to go with a strong side. We have a whole week. We have a whole week to prepare and to recover between now and the next game against Brighton. Which game is more important in the scheme of things? If we take a look at the table, obviously this is an FA Cup game, but we are just 4 points behind Nottingham Forest. So we're right up their arse at the moment. 2 points clear of Manchester City. And with our game now coming up against Brighton, who else have we got after that? We've got Aston Villa as well, our last game in the league in the month of February. But it's a quick one. It is a quick month. And so with it being gone just like that, we're going to need to get all the results we can. I, for one, would like to see us field as strong a team as possible in this game. I love the FA Cup. I think it is very, very important. Unlike the Carabao Cup, if you get to the end, cool. If you get knocked out in the first or second round, it's probably for the best if you have aspirations of winning something a little bit more important, or at least, again, like for us, challenging for, top four and so on. I think they said that top 5 is what it's going to take to get a Champions League spot this season for English sides. So we could even warrant finishing 5th, but realistically, I would like to finish in the top 4. It's asking a lot. It really is. Parma. I don't really see too much of wiggle room for players to come in and allow him to have a rest. Could we see KDH come in, play that central, well, not Enzo play that central role? So we could see this. I wouldn't be surprised. Wait, is Dewsbury Hall actually fit? Let me see. So fit players. We're still without Fofana, Badiashile, Lavia, and Mudryk. I could see that being a thing. I could easily see that being a thing. I think we're going to need to look. I think he will look to rest Palmer in some capacity, but it's around something like this that I can see being the starting 11. Is Jackson about to make a miraculous recovery and start? More than likely. Could we see Neto over the likes of Madueke or Sancho? We could do. Even though we are riddled with injuries as of late, I see there being, and also losing a lot of players during the window. I see there being a lot of wiggle room, but that is the starting 11 that I think I'm going to go with. With that said, predictions-wise for this game, I do think it is going to be a tight one. I don't necessarily think that the 7-0 defeat the other day to Nottingham Forest bears too much of a difference, bears too much of too much of an impact on the result of this game. I could see it being a very high-scoring draw. I think it might even go to extra time. And with Chelsea only having won one of our last 3 trips to the Amex, I would expect us to get a draw. We need to see what happens. No strikers. It's going to cause issues. We can barely score as it is these days. So 2-2 is my prediction. Penalties and extra time also definitely on the cards. I think it's going to go to extra time. Maybe Chelsea take it 3-2 after extra time. With that said, let me know your predictions in the comments down below. As always, my name is Harry, and up the Chelsea, and peace. What the fuck was that?